This is community activist Derek Muhammad, and you are watching Willie D Live.
Trey Day, incredible event.
Yes.
Shouts out to Trey the Truth. Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, we got some good people out here in Houston. We got some good dudes in Houston, man, that's really doing some things, that's really in the streets and really out there giving back, helping.
Right.
You know, lending their resources, whether it be their name, sweat equity, or their money. Mm-hmm. We got some good dudes in Houston, and it just made me feel so good to see so many more dudes like come together as one and say, man, I support this movement, and to see guys from out of town come out here.
Right.
I saw DJ Envy and Ace Hood,
right.
and
Nick
Raheem,
Cannon, Angela
Levon,
Yee.
it was beautiful, man.
They came from all over the country to participate in Trey Day. And again, much respect to my brother Trey the Truth. But let me say this. A lot of people were coming at me after we had the meeting with the mayor saying, can you get these rappers to stop promoting violence in their lyrics? Or they were saying things like, oh, that's good that they met with the mayor, but what about this, what about that? And I started thinking about the archaic mentality that our community has about rap music. First and foremost, I looked around that table and I saw so much growth and development. It was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And I said to myself, everybody at this table, and you had all your major rap artists from Houston, everybody at this table is already doing something to help the community. They each had a track record. The only thing that we did, which was the most powerful thing that could be done, is that we brought it all together and we witnessed the power of it. Mm-hmm. But things that Willie D rapped about 25, 30 years ago, he's still talking about similar circumstances, but he's on a different note.
And it's more responsible.
Thank you.
That's the biggest
Willie
biggest
D
difference.
is coon hunting.
Right.
He coon hunting right now.
Right.
You see, Slim Thug, he just put out a motivational song, Church, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody, Lil Kiki, he just got an award from President Obama for his community work. Mm-hmm. We talked about Trey the Truth and the work that he's doing. Zero, I was looking at some of the interviews that Zero did in New York City a couple weeks ago. I mean, fire, very activist minded. Sharp brother. So a lot of time our community still judging artists who are growing and developing mentally and spiritually by music that they may have made 20 years ago.
But you know what, Derek? A lot of these people that do that, they doing the same thing with their spouses. They doing the same thing with their parents, their children, their friends. Well, you know, back in '63, you hurt me. You really hurt me. You know, these are people that just can't let it go. And it's interesting that you brought up the fact that people don't want you to grow, and they don't want to recognize the growth.
Right.
I've heard people say, well, you know, just talk about this music that you made, and you know where you contributed to destroying the youth and blah blah blah. Let me explain something to you, dumbass. If you go back and listen to any music I got, listen to the music. All the music. I don't care what I'm talking about. It's a cautionary tale. I never glorified the street life. I was a reporter for the street life. I reported what was going on in the streets, but I never glorified it, because anytime I talked about anything, I always talked about the situation, circumstances, repercussions. It's always repercussions. You never got off with just being reckless. That's reckless to me, to just go out there and say I got to chop in the trunk, and that's all I got. But you got to chop in the trunk. Your ass finna get 15 years. So you gonna talk about that chopping? Say if you gonna talk about that chopper in the trunk, talk about them 15 years you gonna get
if you get caught
with that chopper in that trunk. That's the difference between GB and a lot of other people that make music.
I don't.
It's no responsibility component with the music.
I don't think it's so much as people not wanting to see you evolve. I think it's kind of a first impression thing. If the first time I heard these rappers, they're talking about slapping hoes and killing niggas, all of a sudden they're activists. It's not like, okay, you can't progress to be an activist, but I'm still gonna remember when you were talking about slapping hoes and killing people. So I don't, just speaking on a different point of view, I don't think it's that they don't want to see progress, because I genuinely think as a black race, people want to see us get further.
Okay.
I think it's a little hard for people to separate that dope dealer who now wants to be an activist.
Well, that's fine, but here's the thing. Though and you're right. That's very fair to say that. But here's the thing: these same people that want people to respect their growth, they don't want to respect the next person's growth.
Right.
You know, it's like, well, I'm not the same person. I mean, think about many of our grandmamas, and I hate to put this out there for your grandmama before you start thinking this about your grandmama.
Don't put that image in my mind.
But you know, many of our grandmamas was freaks. All right, let's put it out there. Many of our grandmamas was freaks. They was in the club. They was out there doing their thing.
But it was encouraged.
They was
encouraged by the rappers.
They was dropping it
encouraged.
to the floor. We talking about before rap. Some of our grandmamas who was before rap, they was out there dropping it to the floor and doing, you know what I'm saying? And now grandmama is all reserved and refined, and she's seen it all. And you know, it's one man, you know, every 15 years.
Oh, Lord.
And it's that same man in her life that's been there for the last 30 years. That's the grandmama that you see now. So when you see grandmama, well, what if you with your grandmama and y'all walking through Kroger's or any type of restaurant or something, and somebody walk up, girl, I remember you when you was just out there. Ooh, girl, your grandma was out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Come on now.
It's different because I wasn't around when that was going on. I'm around when these rappers are acting a fool and they want to be activists. I wasn't there, so that emotion is going to be different.
But see, let me say something.
Yeah.
And you make a very good point. But that's the education or the educational process that our community has to go through. You see what I'm saying? I see it completely differently. At the beginning of the interview, Will was talking about who I was before I became an activist. Now, he wasn't talking about what I was rapping about. He was talking about what I was actually out there doing. So many of us are hypocritical because we all got skeletons in the closet. That's
absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? The only difference between the rapper is that his is public. Mine is a little bit more private. But what we have to do is we gotta begin to develop the same patience with one another that we have with people from other communities. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
oh boy, do we have a lot of patience for people from other communities? It's going to take time.
Exactly.
It's going to take time.
Exactly. Justin Bieber can become a preacher tomorrow.
I don't know about that. That's the push.
Hey, if they put the right...
That's the narrative.
No, listen.
They're going to put the narrative out there.
If they put the right spin on it and they put the right resources behind the propaganda, you're going to be saying amen.
Bruce Jenner went out there and changed his sexuality, and now everybody talking about him. Now him is a her. Well, you know, she. I ain't never saying she. I don't care what y'all say. That's a damn man. Right. That is a man who went out there and got a sex change. Oh, I don't know.
It ended up being woman of the year.
It's ended up being woman of the year.
Now, I don't agree with that.
That's a damn man. And I'm never going to say she. That's a man. You're not going to get my head mixed up.
But you say your mama call you Bruce, I'm going to call you Bruce.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, the thing is that you can change your name. I mean, people change their names all the time. I mean, Prince changed his name to a symbol. Right. You know, I didn't know what the hell to call him.
Right. If we're in the new age of black consciousness, then we have to realize that what's happening today and tomorrow is always more important than what took place on yesterday. But even if you listen to Ghetto Boys music, if you listen to Willie D's first album, I was a huge Willie D fan back when he was a battle rapper. Like, he used to battle rap back in front of Gucci's. He didn't know me, I knew him. Everybody knew him. But his first solo album, he had a picture of the Ku Klux Klan on it. On it. He had a shotgun or something in his hand. I don't remember.
No, it was a picture.
But his first album helped me to become politically conscious. he was giving it to me in a way that I could understand because I was from Fifth Ward too. So it just depends. You can reach back and you can say, and you can focus on the song he made called Bald Head Hoes, or you can grasp some of the other, politically charged music that he made where it actually had a message in it. It just depends on what part you want to settle on as an individual.
Talk to me, man.
You see what I'm saying? So the
Talk to me.
narrative, the narrative about our rap artists has been given to us by the white media, and
Who is a PR agent for the government.
We've bought it hook, line, and sinker. Number one. Number two, if you don't know Willie D, Slim Thug, if you don't know him personally, you have to realize that you're judging somebody that you do not know.
I mean, but that happens every day, all day.
Yeah, but
It's based on what you put out. People sometimes forget. I think the rappers are getting more conscious of that. Who you deliver, that's your brand. People are not going to say, oh, well, maybe he's a good person at heart. Or, if you're going on here talking about doing this and this and this, especially with the younger youth, they're not thinking, okay, that's not really him. They really believe that's really him.
But check this out. Let's say every rapper at the table, all they've made was music about shoot 'em up, bang bang, which is not true. Let's say that were the case.
Okay.
But on that particular day, they decided that they were gonna come together and do something positive. Should we focus on the positive that they decided to do that day and encourage them to do more the following day? Or should we look at it and say,
talk
man,
to
No,
me.
I'm all with
serious.
encouraging, and I
me.
believe that's what people should do, but that's not what they're going to do.
Well, a lot of people did do it.
Yeah.
But we're just talking about really like the minority that didn't. But I will
That are
say,
like, oh, he fake, he's a sellout, he's this. It's like, you can't really win. You can't please everybody, so there's no winning.
Well, when you're a public figure, Willie D knows that comes with the territory
Yeah.
anyway. So they're not bothered by it. But as a community, my whole thing is, it's not just rappers. There are a lot of people who are coming to consciousness in this day and age. What do? Look at them and say, you was on the stripper pole last week. Now you want to talk to me about being a more. You want to talk to me about you No, you don't put people down for who they were yesterday or what they did yesterday. You encourage them to move forward.
Yeah, it's the difference if somebody was flip-flopping. If you're flip-flopping, then it's like, I don't know which way this dude going. I don't know what he's thinking tomorrow. I don't know how he's going to be today, and da-da-da-da. But I'm going to put this out here for y'all. I am very much the same person that I was 20 years ago in terms of wanting to better myself. See, that's what people don't understand about me. I've always tried to become a better version of myself daily. Now, some of you guys who have seen me at my worst points and had seen me out there doing certain reckless things or whatever, hey, you caught me on a bad day, man. You caught me in transition. It's like you're still working on me.
Right.
Still working on me. But I'm gonna tell you this. It's one thing that I do have left over is if somebody does something to me to try to harm me, or somebody does something to disrespect me, be disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? What is a DC Young Fly say? Bring that ass to me, boy. Got to bring that ass to me, boy.
Malcolm X said something similar. He said, harm no one, always be the peacemaker. But if somebody puts their hands on you, send them to the cemetery.
But
Exactly.
see, okay. When you guys say that, and then you get mad when people bring up black on black crime when certain things happen.
First of all,
you're saying, if you do this, I'm going to put my hands on you. But then you get mad when people acknowledge
but
that.
here's the thing. It's okay if they acknowledge it, but here's the thing. It ain't going to change because that right there is a defense mechanism that people use to keep you off their ass. You see what I'm saying? Like, people think that they can say anything that they want to say to you or do anything that you want to do. I'm not a kumbaya dude. In the beginning, let me tell you something. I would like that for there to be peace, but if if it can't be peace, well, goddamn, I ain't the one gonna be hiding and still pleading and praying and stuff. I'm gonna say, let's get it on. I'm saying, hey, let it be peace. Let that be peace.
Right.
But if it can't be peace, well, goddamn, get it on.
Right.
It's like some of these reality shows. If I was to be on a reality show, I'm not going to engage in going crazy, blowing up, and all that kind of stuff, arguing stuff, because I'm not really good. I'm not really good with intense arguing. I'm not really good with that. So I prefer to just step back and stay out of it, because I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know. I would like to think that I ain't going to flip. But I don't know I don't know when it's going to happen. So I just rather stay away from it. But people will push your button, and if people know that they can be disrespectful to you, and you're not going to do anything because you're so wrapped up in peace and harmony and love, and you're not going to do anything, and you're going to do everything that you can do to make sure nobody try to identify you as the guy that's committing black on black crime. They are going to try you. They're going to push you. They're going to fuck with not only you. They may try your family members. They may try your family members. They may try your business partner or whoever. People cannot have. You cannot give people a blank check to act an ass.
Right. What Will and I were talking about was self-defense. Mm-hmm. And when we were talking about it, I had nobody black in my mind. I didn't have anybody black in mind. So
Point taken.
I wasn't even thinking black on black when I'm thinking.
I'm speaking for the outside. I get exactly what you're saying, but the questions I'm asking and the stuff I'm throwing is stuff that I know people think, the stuff I read, and I'm like, where do you get this from? But I'm being them today.
Yeah.
So don't
appreciate you.
Don't look at me crazy and be like, this girl's thrown off.
But the thing is,
but we're just talking about self-defense.
Danny, the thing is this. A lot of people are not critical thinkers. So they just only think on the surface. Mm-hmm. So they say silly shit like, well, what about black on black crime? What this basically regurgitating the same old white supremacist talking points and stuff. Mm-hmm. Right. So the thing about it is that who put this narrative out there? You know who put it out there? White media. White media, who is the PR agent for the government, the same government who targets black people on a regular for failure. Mm-hmm. It's the same. These are all the same people. So they say, what about black on black crime? Anytime an injustice happens against black people, and they throw that out there to use it as a defense mechanism,
right.
so that they can have an excuse to do the same thing,
right.
and get away with it.
Right, and
that's all it is.
It's the most asinine defense mechanism that I've ever heard, because as a people, we've been in this country for 461 years. Black on black murder is a recent thing. Maybe the past 30, 40 years, it had become a serious problem. But back in the 40s, 50s, 30s, the 20s.
Major issue.
No, it wasn't a major. We weren't killing one another like that. But they were still killing us then, mm-hmm. the way they're killing us now. Mm-hmm. So how can you say that if we stop black on black violence, that the police will stop shooting us down, the medical industry will stop targeting us and killing us?
I don't think it's like that they're saying it to get you to
Yes,
think that the
no,
cops are going to stop.
They're saying it to justify they're killing us, number one.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Number two, they're also saying it to diffuse the argument.
Like to weigh it out.
Right.
Kind of like, well, if you're doing
If
this,
y'all
why
stop
is this
killing,
okay?
if y'all stop killing one another, then maybe we'll stop killing you. Hold on. How long have you all been killing us?
Yeah.
So no, that has nothing to do with it. Minister Farrakhan calls it a two-front war. That means we do have a problem with inner city violence that is deeply rooted in self-hatred, lack of opportunity, mm-hmm. and a myriad of other factors. That's over here. But over here, we have a justice issue, because the week before last, I sat in a capital murder case. 4 boys, black, killed a young black male for his Air Jordans. Well, actually, they didn't even get the Jordans.
Saw that.
You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. 2 of them got life sentences. 1 of them just pled to 40 years, all right? The other one's going to plead to, all of them will spend either the rest of their life in prison or an inordinate amount of time in prison, okay? But the jury is still out on those 2 cops that killed Alton Sterling in Baton Rouge. That's the difference. The difference is there's a justice gap. When we kill one another, we go to jail. We overpay the price, if that is a such thing. But when they kill us, they still get away with it.
Let's talk about that double standard when we come
Yeah.
back. Checking out Willie D Live.